Should the Seattle Seahawks make a big investment at the center position in free agency this offseason? What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Monday. The Super Bowl is over. The season is over. We have reached the offseason for every single NFL team. And now every team is asking the same basic question. Obviously, not every team is approaching those answers the exact same way, but we're all here now in the offseason, and every team is now thinking about their roster and free agency and down the line the draft. And we're going to continue down the free agency pipe here. We're going to continue looking at potential candidates the Seahawks could sign from the outside to make their 2025 roster better. And today we're moving to a new position, the center position. We're talking about centers. And this is a position where I'm just going to say it. If you want to improve, you are doing it in free agency because this draft is not good. If you want to get a really good center in this draft, you're either going to have to develop him over the course of probably multiple years, or you're going to have to draft a guy who plays another position and move him to center and then have that move actually work. So it is unlikely that you're going to be able to find your solution there. The solution is somewhere here if you want to make your current team better. Now, the Seahawks, currently, they have Oluwatimi starting at center, which is okay. He's all right. I don't hate him. And if the Seahawks decide to roll forward with him in 2025, that's not the end of the world, as long as they improve at the other positions to try to make life easier for Oluwatimi. Behind him, they have Jalen Sundle, who we saw a little bit of last year, and I guess it was kind of sort of okay, but nothing over the top exciting there. And then the Nowitzki kid, who I don't know anything about him other than the fact that his last name is Nowitzki. I think his first name's Mike. But we need help here. We might need a lot of help here. It depends on your perspective. I think that Oluwatimi could be a low-end starter in this league or a high-end backup. So what do you want to do? What path you want to walk down? There is one wild card here, and his name is Christian Haynes. If Christian Haynes moves from guard to center, which I think could happen and I think could be a great idea, and he's your starter, then I think you're good. I would advocate for a move of Christian Haynes from guard to center. There, I think he would work very well. But it has to happen. And it doesn't happen by me sitting here and talking about it on YouTube. It happens because the team explicitly says he's our center now, and then we see him playing center in practice, in preseason, and eventually in games. So until that happens, I think center is a moderate need for the Seahawks in the offseason. I'm not in love with Oluwatimi the way some people are. And I think there is some upside there, but he is an older prospect at this point. He probably is pretty close to what he is. And what he is not bad, but if you can get better, I think you should get better. Okay, so let's take a look at the high-end starters. I'm going to say it. There are no stars that I see in free agency this year at center. There are no superstars, of course. The superstars pretty much never make it to market anyway, so that's kind of moot even talking about it. What you have are a few, let's say a few high-end starters you could sign for anywhere from 7 to 11 million a year, basically. Maybe 6 to 11 million a year. There's nobody you're going to have to shatter the bank for, but there are some guys you could throw a lot of money at who would be very good. First guy's Ryan Kelly. And Ryan Kelly, he is definitely, to me, the bright spot of free agency in terms of a guaranteed immediate result. Now, he is about to turn 32. It's not amazing, but this is a former first-round pick, a 4-time Pro Bowler, had a great career in Indianapolis. He made the Pro Bowl 2 years ago, so it's not like it's all in the distant past. Played really well for Indy, but it seems like they're ready to move on, and it seems like Ryan Kelly's ready to move on. And it's not because he's playing bad now. He did miss 7 games last year, and he missed 3 games the year before, so injuries are becoming a little bit of a concern here. But when he played quite well. PFF ranked him as the 17th best center in the league, 67 grade, 600 snaps, all at center. And then the year before that, 2023, 77.2. So a top 10 center in grade, playing almost 900 snaps. So he played a good amount, and he played very well. Now, the fact that he's missing games is a problem, but you're going to get a great player for however many games he manages to play. And I think it could be reasonably hoped that he plays around 12. And if you're getting 12 games from Ryan Kelly, 5 games from Oluwatimi, you're doing very well for yourself. That is worth throwing some serious money at, because the games Ryan Kelly plays are going to be very good. I don't think he's at the point where he's washed up yet. He's a center. Those guys tend to last a little bit longer, I think. Botrack says a 1-year deal, which is kind of icky, but 10.1 million. So you're not talking about a multi-year deal here. So all the money's going to be in 2025, unless you do void years, which I would recommend doing in this case. I think that's probably a little bit better than a multi-year deal. Maybe you could go 2 years and then put a lot of the money in the second year and have a low guarantee on it. But it depends on what the bidding is like. I'm sure Ryan Kelly's going to want to follow the money a little bit. And this 1 year, 10.1 million might be more appealing to him than a multi-year deal, where he doesn't see but maybe 8 million of the money, and he might be stuck with his team for the second year as well. He loses leverage. If he goes somewhere on a 1-year deal and plays great and plays the whole season or most of the season, he might go get an even bigger deal, maybe a 3-year deal next offseason despite his age. That might be the thinking here. So you're going to pay a lot for Ryan Kelly, but he's going to play very well when he's out there. I think he is the best center available in free agency. The age is a problem, but I don't think it's a crippling problem quite yet, especially if you're only getting him for 1 year, which is probably what you would be doing with him no matter what. That's number one. Number two, we've got Josh Myers. Josh Myers, starting center for the Packers, second-round pick of 2021. He's played a lot of football over the last 3 years. He started every game except one, and he's provided some good value for that Packers team, part of an offensive line that is considered to be one of the best units in football. Now, I'm just going to say it, Pro Football Focus is not enamored with him. They ranked him pretty low last year, 55.3 on 1,000 center snaps. Year before that, they ranked him 39th. So again, pretty poor, pretty low, 55.8, over almost 1,100 center snaps. You have to go back to 2022 to a year where they even thought he was average, and we're talking barely average here, 60.4 on, again, almost 1,100 center snaps. So understand that at the very least, Pro Football Focus is saying this guy's more quantity than quality. He plays a lot, stays healthy, he grinds, he's giving you basically a full season. But if you take Pro Football Focus at its word, which not everybody does with justification, you are getting a player who is more along the lines of a decent grinder who will at least give you a whole season rather than a player that is actually great. It is worth noting that he's going to turn 27 this offseason. Maybe there's another level of his play that he can tap into going into 2025. We'll see. You're going to have to spend some money to find out, though. Botrack thinks he's getting 3 years, 23.2 million. That would be 7.7 million a year. So you're going to have to spend significant money to find out. But you are paying a premium for the fact that this guy has been Mr. Reliable for the last 3 years, and he's played so much football, more so than his quality. And I don't mean to say he's been bad in any particular way. I don't think these numbers bear that out. I think that if you take a look at like penalties and sacks allowed, it's okay. It's not stellar. But there is a tax you're paying just because he's played so much football the last 3 seasons. If you count playoffs, he's probably up around 3,400 snaps at center, something like that. So it's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking him, but understand what you're getting here. It doesn't seem like you're getting a great player. It seems like you're getting a good player that is dependable. And you're paying a pretty high rate for that. 7.7 million a year for a center is pretty close to the top of the market. Centers do not get paid the way tackles and even guards now do. So that's Josh Myers. There's one guy left in this tier. Last guy, Drew Dalman. And this guy might be my favorite. Like, I don't think he's as good as Ryan Kelly, but I think it's close. And Drew Dalman is only going to turn 27 in October. So he's not even going to be 27 when the season starts. Former 4th-round pick of the Falcons in 2021. I remember scouting him a little bit. He's played a lot of football over the last 3 years. He did miss about half the season last year, but other than that, he's been a reliable part of that offensive line for Atlanta, and he's played at a pretty high level according to basically everyone. So Drew Dalman is highly thought of in this league. It's unfortunate that he missed so much time last year, but it's the first truly major time-robbing injury of his career, and there's minimal evidence that he's injury-prone. More so, he just got injured, and it happens. It can happen to anybody. Is it a trend? I think it's too early to say that. Pro Football Focus is a big fan. They thought he was a top 4 center last year. Granted, only 550 snaps, played half the season, but 79 grade is very good. They liked him in both categories, both areas. Year before that, when he played basically the whole season, 900 plus snaps, 82.3. Top 3 center. So this guy's a PFF darling. They love his run blocking. They didn't like his pass blocking so much this year, but they did like it pretty well in 2024. So Drew Dalman might be the most coveted center in free agency. He's not quite as good as Ryan Kelly, not as reliable as Ryan Kelly, but his youth combined with his quality play makes him potentially the most coveted center. Botrack thinks he's going to get docked a little bit because he missed half of 2024, but you're looking at about 3 years, 20.4 million, 6.8 million per year. So that's another center that you're paying $6 million a year plus to. It's a pretty high rate for the position. It doesn't seem like a lot. There are guards out there getting 3 times this now, but for the position, this is a lot of money, but I think you'd get your money's worth. Again, he's about to hit what is supposed to be your best years, 27, 28, 29, 30. If you give him this contract, you're getting him for most of his physical and mental prime. That part of your career where everything should just be working. So Drew Dalman is going to be near the top of most people's lists if you need a center. He's near the top of my list. If you get Dalman as your starter and you understand that there's a decent chance he misses some time in 2025 because he's missed some time the last 2 years, if that's what you believe, then you've got Oluwatimi to step up, and you could do a lot worse than Oluwatimi. He showed last year he is NFL caliber. So those are the 3 guys that I would consider to be the trinity at the top of this center market. If you want to spend big on a center that you can count on in 2025, Ryan Kelly, Josh Myers, Drew Dalman. Kelly and Dalman are the better players. Myers has been healthier and more reliable lately. Dalman is younger. Josh Myers is also on the younger side. Kelly's older. It just, you have to balance all these things out in your head and decide where you want to land. Let me know what you think of these 3. We're going to move on to the starter tier of centers in the next video, and then we're going to get into depth. So let me know what you guys think of these 3. See you guys later. Go Hawks. And those are the best centers available. And again, if you want a really good center this offseason, you're not going to find them in the draft in all likelihood. You're finding them here. So these are your options. Pick one.